Okay, Mr. Yorkman. We had a little break.
Intermission.
Oh God. Okay, so yeah, how do you get around it in relationships?
How do you get around? I
Mhm.
don't necessarily think I get
What's the
around it because
compromise? Or do you just surrender?
no, I don't surrender because like so it- so my defense has always been when someone says, well, I need to be more emotional, I always say, okay, well, you saying I should be more emotional is the equivalent of me telling you to not be so emotional. Like you can't just change a personality simply
Okay,
because it was asked of you.
right.
So I mean, like I would hope people understand that if if I didn't love them, I wouldn't be there. Like literally would not be there. Like
Right.
so they have to understand that just because I don't say it, it's not because okay, let me back up, right? So the latest argument I had about that was, when it comes to saying I love you and holding hands and things like that, I
Mhm.
said, have you ever said it and you didn't hear it back? Or have you ever tried to hold my hand and I like snatched it away from you? Like,
Mhm.
so I reciprocate. It's just that I'm not in tuned enough to initiate.
Ah, okay, that makes sense. And I actually think there's a lot out there that are like you. Um, it's probably not the majority, but initiation takes a lot. It does take a lot. And then if you're not that type of emotional person, I could see where that would be a struggle because it's not natural, for
Yeah,
you.
yeah, it's just
Okay.
not on the front of your mind. Like,
Yeah, that makes sense. I remember maybe 2 times just to mess with you. I told you I loved you. And as long as we known each other, I'm pretty sure I don't think you said it back. I think you said something like thank you, or you said something quirky, but I don't think you said it back.
no. So what did I used to say?
Yeah, there was something that you used to say. And I could see you were, I know it was on the phone. I never said it in person. It was on the phone, and I could feel and hear you smiling very uncomfortably.
Uh,
But you're not the only one. I have friends that I've known for years, and it's usually it's guys. It's always guys. It's always men,
yeah.
and it freaks them out when I just blurt out, I love you. But for me, it's so natural. Like I feel it, and then I want to say it, and I want to hear it. And, I wanted to, to me, it's just easy. Like I can say it without, thinking, 2 seconds about it. Like my ego doesn't get involved with me saying it. It's like if it comes across my mind and, I'm with that person, it's like, oh, I love you. I love you. I love you. It just flows. It's easy. It's natural for me, but I can understand the opposite. Like you said, that's part of my personality. I am sensitive. I do have emotions. I can, put them to the side or, squash them a little bit temporarily, very briefly, but I am, the average feeling person. And maybe feeling even more than the average person, actually. And I can't change that as much as I think about, I wish I could be like this person and not be so emotional, but it's something that I can't change that. That's a part of who I am. So I get
Uh,
that. I do get
well, so and most people aren't. I guess what's the right word? Introspective enough to really
yes.
realize that about themselves and can understand how you know that a person doesn't say it back because they're trying to be mean or rude or whatever.
Hmm.
But it's just what. Oh, so I used to say I used to just say thank you
Yeah, I thought so. I thought so.
until that got me in trouble.
Do tell, do tell.
It was like, well, what do you mean thank you? I was like, well, thank you for saying it. That was nice. So needless to say, that conversation went downhill fast. Um,
I
but
bet.
it's like, well, what else do you want me to say? Like,
Right.
or oh God, like this one lady I used to date, she would say, um, I miss you. And she was like, well, why don't you ever say it back? And my question was, well, what is that going to do? Like, me saying I miss you isn't going to make you appear or make me appear. So I mean, like, like what difference does it make? That sounded rude, right?
That
But
sounded horrible.
well, but see, but that's how I think. It's very concrete terms. Like,
Mhm.
okay, you saying that is to say what?
So I guess, like for me, I understand because I'm again, I'm another I miss you person. If I've been away from someone and I love them, and I'll text I miss you to my daughters. It. Excuse me. It's easy. It's natural for me. I feel that longing for them. For significant others. I feel that longing. We haven't seen each other for a while, so it comes out. I miss you. And it's easy. It's natural. Uh, but I do, I understand that you're like, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't fix the issue. Like saying I'm sorry $1,000 doesn't undo what happened. So I
Oh, I
get for
hate
you,
that.
there's no purpose to it. But for someone like me, letting the person know that I've been thinking about them. I miss being in their presence. I miss being in the same room with them, or something of that nature or whatever. Like I want to express that to them. And it might
Which
make
is
them feel all
fantastic.
warm and fuzzy inside or not.
I mean, again, it's not that I don't, it. So okay, so back up for a second. I'm sorry. I can't stand that.
What's that?
I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
I can't stand it.
Yeah.
It's just so, I don't know. What's the
What
word?
about I
Contrite?
apologize? Is that any better for you?
Oh, that's even worse.
Is it?
Yes, I apologize. It's less personal than I'm sorry. I don't
Really?
mind the words. I mind the fact that you had to say I'm sorry.
So you mind the fact that someone did something that they had to say sorry for?
So again, so I'm very literal. I'm very intentional.
Uh-huh.
Like if I do something, I'm not sorry about that action. Now, I have said I'm sorry for how it made you feel, but it doesn't take away what I actually said. I meant it.
Okay. But what about in the incident of stepping on someone's foot?
That's oh yeah, sorry about that. Like that's nothing.
Okay.
You know,
I was about to say, do you stop
yeah,
and say, I'm sorry for how me stepping on your foot makes you feel?
yeah. I'm like, yeah, like like when people, when people hurt another person's feelings and they say I'm sorry. I think it's a wasteful term. It's like,
Okay.
okay, so you saying you're sorry, did it take those words away? No. Okay. Well, then what did it do? See, most people, I believe, say things with the specific intent to hurt another person's feelings.
Uh,
If that's your goal, then don't be sorry about it.
okay. Okay. But
Or
what about
if
the
you
unintentional hurting of feelings?
okay,
What should be done?
so tell me how you can unintentionally hurt someone's feelings.
I'm not saying you can do that. I'm just saying what would be the protocol? Okay, you feel disrespected by me, and it was unintentional. What do I say?
So
Or
if
is it more so, okay, I won't do that again? Is that more your thing?
so that's the thing, right? If you say something with the specific intent to hurt somebody else, you can't apologize that away. You can't sorry that away, right?
Hmm.
So my thing is, if you know you're prone to that type of behavior, you know what? Apologize in advance by not letting it happen. Like think about what you say before you say it.
Hmm. Hmm.
And then there's no reason. And I've been called on it like, well, you never say I'm sorry. Well, that's because I didn't say anything I didn't mean. But again, but see, understand, I'm not one to call people names. I'm not one to insult people's intelligence or anything like that.
Right.
Like, I'm not like, oh, you stupid idiot. Like, because
Yes, because that's really harsh.
right. And if I said it, I truly believe you're a stupid idiot. You know what I mean? So there are very few people who may fall into that category.
Right.
So I would have very little need to say it.
Okay. Okay. I get that. I get that.
Yeah, it's weird, but that's part of the literal nature of my personality.
And I guess someone like you is kind of easy to deal with because what you see is what you get type thing. And a lot of
Yeah,
people, like, I can get confused with wording because a person can be very good with their words or what they say, but it might not be backed up with intent. So you're saying you don't do or say anything without thinking about it so that, you don't have to try to pull it back.
almost to the point of irritation to me and the other party.
Okay.
But so I described myself once. This lady, this other lady I was dating, she asked me, how would I describe myself? And I said, I'm complicatedly simple. Like I have a lot of
With that.
layers. Huh?
I could agree with that for you.
But it sounds kind of contradictory on the surface, but when you think about it, like
Hmm.
at the core, I'm a very simple human being,
Hmm.
but it takes a lot of complicated steps to get to that core.
Right, 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 right. Okay. Are you ready for the next hot topic?
Yeah. What is it?
When is cheating cheating? Where is that line? Where's the line? There's, kissing, if
Yep.
you're not married and you're just boyfriend and girlfriend and you kiss somebody else, is that cheating? Or if you just go out with somebody else, is that cheating? Or is it just a full sexual act?
So you have to define the nature of the relationship.
Okay, let's start with the boyfriend and girlfriend, adult boyfriend and girlfriend.
Okay. Adult boyfriend and girlfriend.
They're not engaged, they're not officially engaged. Yeah, they're not engaged. They've been together for, a few months, and they've discussed being committed to one another.
Okay. So there was an explicit contract or agreement between the two that they were monogamous.
Si, senor.
Okay. All right. Then yeah. I mean, anything in and of the above is cheating.
Okay.
Kissing, hugging, going out with another person, romantically going out with another person,
Right,
talking on
right.
the phone excessively with another person. Like, listen, for all like you and I have been friends for what, 30 years now? 30, oh Jesus.
More than
30,
that.
yeah, right. 35 years. All of Jesus. No.
You stupid.
So like
I'm
it's a
sorry.
very what? Yeah. Get the hell out of here. It's a very rare thing that men and women can truly be friends, right? It's rare because in most cases, the guy is trying to sleep with the girl. In my experience, I'm not saying that, it's wholeheartedly, but yeah, I think that's pretty spot on, right? So if there's never, yeah, so you can't meet somebody on the street this day and age and exchange numbers and not think that there's an undercurrent of sexual desire behind it, right? If it's not in a business setting and you have to exchange phone numbers because they're team members or something like that, like
Okay.
I can't walk down the street and be like, oh, hey, how are you, beautiful lady? Oh, can I get your number? I'm interested in being friends. Like, that just sounds stupid, right?
Okay.
So if if it doesn't pass the common sense test, if you can't say it without giggling to yourself, You know what I mean? Like it's probably a lie.
Right.
So you're not collecting phone numbers. You're not going out on dates, going out to dinner, talking on the phone with people that you intend to be platonic with, unless that person goes way back.
Right. Right.
So,
I agree with that to a degree. And
okay,
I'm
well,
saying that from the perspective I have exchanged numbers with people, and the initial intent wasn't to date. But it was, we had such a good conversation or something like that. And we became friends and we never dated. So I have had a couple things like, incidents like that. But like you said, that is very rare. That's very rare. I have a lot of male friends, but like you said, most of them are from way back. Um, Now I don't, like, as far as, people that I've had, let's say, relations with, I have friends that were friends before we had relations, and then we still remain friends, but it's not like, an ongoing, it's just not an issue. It's like we were friends before and we're friends after. Um, but as far as like, if you're, let's say you're so across the board, if you're married or you've made that, your thing is the verbal commitment. If you've talked about this, then all of these, all of these things are cheating.
yes,
Hmm. That I didn't expect that answer from you.
yeah,
Um, or
but
not
but
you,
now, but
not
again,
you personality wise, but you as a male, because you have a lot of men that will say, "Well, it's not cheating until it reaches this point," you know.
but see, men can say that, and they can be like, all right. So men don't have that emotional connection when it comes to sex and all that stuff, right? They don't make that. Sex is sex for men, right?
Right.
But but you would be. I think people hide behind that as a way to get away with, like an ulterior motive, right? Well, I only wanted to be friends. We only started talking. Like, come on now, like that. It's stupid. Like, again, you don't meet somebody, you don't introduce yourself to somebody just on a whim, not a professional setting, not at a friend. Like, if you meet someone in a social setting and you guys hit it off, and there's absolutely no interest in that person, okay, it's odd, but okay, it can happen.
Right.
But you're not going to the bar and meeting someone and just saying, oh, I just collected their number just so that she liked football and I like football, and look at us. Like, it's ridiculous, right?
It could happen. It's
Yeah,
rare, but it could happen.
yeah, okay. So,
I'm about to say one of your favorite terms. Let's
what?
agree to disagree.
Well, see, here's the test, right?
Yeah.
And so let me back up a minute, right? So you and I have been friends for a long time, right?
Yeah.
There's never been anything between us
Right.
except for friendship.
Right.
Now, my wife has male friends that she's grown up with.
Right.
But on the flip side of that, there have been people that she met after, let's say, during or after college. And I had the conversation with her one day. I said, listen, I said, if you grew up with somebody and like, hey, have at it, right? I'm going to trust that they're your friend. I said, but if you can't honestly tell me that if you called that man today and said, hey, I'm feeling lonely, can you come over? And they jump at it, that's not a friend. That's someone that was waiting in the wings to nail you.
No, that's not fair. It depends
Ah,
on, because you like, I have male friends that if I said I'm lonely,
okay, I'm not talking about in the lonely in the Webster definition sense.
oh, what lonely are we talking
I'm
about?
talking about like lonely, like, you know, hey, it's 3 o'clock in the morning lonely.
Oh, that kind of lonely.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like a friend would be like, yo, what's going on here? Why are you calling me at 3 o'clock in the morning?
Right,
That
right.
that, that would
I
be a
agree.
friend's response.
I agree.
The joker who picks up that call, like, yo, I'll be right there. That's not a friend. They never were. They were just waiting in the wings.
Okay, gotcha. I agree. I agree.
So that's how you can tell. And actually, they do a lot of YouTube videos where, these girls or guys will have a friend call their significant other and say something like that just to see what the
Okay.
response is.
Let's see what, oh Lord, that's trouble. I'm
Yo,
sure a lot of relationships ended over that.
for real.
Uh, 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 uh. Oh, that's a whole nother good topic. Like baiting your partner. Is that even fair? Because that's not a real situation, but you created this situation and they fell for it. But if you
Yeah,
didn't create it, they wouldn't have fell for it.
but now you would think the interesting thing about that is most times the ones that I've seen, they've gotten mad at their friend for actually going through with the prank. Like, well, why would you even make
Are
that
you
call? And one lady
serious?
was like, well, you asked me to.
Are
Yeah,
you
but why would you do it?
serious?
Dead serious.
Oh, that's lame.
Yeah, it's like, well, wait a minute. You asked me to, and because your joker, answered incorrectly, you want to get mad at me? You, you
Oh,
know what I mean? Like,
that's wild. That's
yeah,
wild.
it's crazy. But that's the state of affairs. Like, so we had a mutual friend, one of my best friends growing up, and
Uh-huh.
one day this girl I was dating, um, they knew each other,
Okay.
and he was like, and he was like, yeah, what did he say? He said, I could have dated her. I looked at him and I said, well, what the hell does that mean?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, who says that? I'm looking at him like, what does that mean? Like, okay, so your girl, I could have dated her. Like, you say that to say what exactly?
Right.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't know why that kind of triggered that conversation, but yeah, I don't like stuff like that. I don't like those, offbeat kind of comments and anything like
Okay.
that. But just to circle back around, yeah, it's cheating the minute you accept the phone number from someone of the opposite sex where it's not absolutely platonic, and that's a very rare thing.
Huh, okay. Well, I like that answer. And I think that keeps things simple because then when you try to say, well, it isn't cheating until this, and that, that just complicate things.
Yeah, because think about it like this. You didn't cheat with them today. You didn't kiss them today. You didn't have sex with them today, but you took their number so that downstream something else could happen.
Uh-huh. Okay. The intent is there.
Exactly.
It's about the intent. Well, let me back this up for a second because you said we're words people. We pay attention to what people say. We pay attention to what we say, how we say it for the most part, right? And so I heard
Yep.
you say, I didn't cheat today. That triggers a previous conversation we had, but I can't remember what it was. Do you remember?
Yeah. Somebody asked me specifically. No. They didn't say, did I cheat today? They said, did I have sex with this person today? Now, that answer is unequivocally no, I did not today. And I qualified each statement. I did not, I pulled the Bill Clinton. I did not have sex with that woman. It was a specific question, and I gave a specific answer.
Okay. We'll have to revisit that because I'm gonna start laughing too much. But it's important because that, one word can make, a statement true or false.
Got that right?
Right.
Absolutely.
Well, Daniel, it's been a delight. Do you have any final words for us?
So you didn't. So we had a back and forth on the first question, but what's your take on this part of it?
Ah, shoot. I'm pretty much in the same lines as where you are, but I guess I'm taking it from initially I was taking it from a hypocritical standpoint because I have experienced getting numbers without the intent to date or have sex with a person. But then again, I wasn't in a relationship. So my mindset was different too. Where if I'm in a relationship, then I probably wouldn't be so open on any level because I would consider that leading up to some sort of physical act relationship or whatever down the line. So I have to be fair and say the times that I was using as an example, as far as platonically meeting people, I had made up in my mind that I wasn't dating. So that does make that a little bit different, you know.
Did
But
the other
if you're
person
in
have
a
it in their mind they
relationship with
weren't dating?
someone, it's like you said, it's rarely an incident where if it's not for business or if you're an entrepreneur, it can be borderline because this is your business. So a lot of times you're giving out your personal information, your personal number, but it is business. So, but I think it's easy to cross the line with that at times too, because I could say, well, I offer these services, here's my number, and I think you're cute, cute.
Right, right. It's a blurred line.
Yeah, that would be a blurred line. But like we said earlier, I really believe to keep it clean and clear cut is it starts with that phone number. And for women, like you said, we have that emotional, a lot of women have that emotional connection. So let's talk about emotional cheating. I forgot about that. Emotional cheating, is that a thing for you?
It is.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't think, again, my personality being what it is, I don't think I would be necessarily prone to it, but it's not that, yeah, I believe it is,
Uh-huh.
especially, because my experience tells me that women have a tendency to they go down this path of emotional cheating and then it leads to something else, right? Or it
Yeah,
could potentially lead to something else.
right.
And instead of just owning up to it, like, yeah, I found the person attractive, it won't happen again, they always try and, like, you know, redirect the conversation. Well, you don't tell me you love me. You don't hold my hand. All of that stuff. It's like, oh, so there's a reason. So you're saying I caused you to be attracted to this person and get their number. Like, but in many cases, not all, but many cases, women have the ability to try and redirect. Like, they're missing something. They never told the other person that they were missing something, but they use that as the impetus behind getting someone's number or trying to get to know someone else. And I think that's inherently unfair.
Let's put a pin in that. Not a pin as in come back to it, but I mean like pump the brakes. I didn't want to say pump the brakes because that sounds harsh, but let's pump the brakes on that. So I don't think it's just a woman thing because on the flip, for the physical cheating, we've had, and heard of, situations where the male said, well, you won't do this for me. So I had to get it done somewhere, or we stopped having, sex. So I needed to get somewhere. So that's a thing too. But I understand what you're saying. Like for the women, if it's an emotional thing, and I 100%